USF beats the Gators 18-16 in the Swamp. Close game, physical football game, sloppy football game. USF pulls off a stunner. For the Gators, this one is just bad. I mean, it is just bad. The Billy Napier tenure has been so topsy-turvy. Coming into this year, the hype for the Gators was through the roof. We know the stretch that Florida has coming up, and this was a must-win game. Now listen, in my preview and prediction of this football game, or just my kind of preview video going into week 2, I talked about how this is going to be a test for the Gators. The momentum that Alex Golesh's team is going to have coming into the Swamp. They just pounded Boise State. Pause on that. You knew they were going to come in ready to roll, and you would think Billy would have his team awake, prepared, and ready to go. I don't know if Florida was looking ahead to LSU, but I can tell you what the Gators were doing, and they were just flat out outmatched. Like they were outcoached, they were outmatched, and USF just wanted this football game more than Florida did. It's so hard to put into words how Billy Napier can have this much talent on this roster and go out and put this product on the field. The play calling was abysmal. It's like Billy Napier's play calling is so predictable, and Florida moves at the speed of molasses that it's so hard to understand anything. I think about defensively, the amount of times that Florida tried to sub guys on and off the field on a third down when you know USF loves to run that rocket tempo, and yet you're still trying to substitute 4 fresh linemen from the opposite hash, close hash. I don't care. They're going to snap the ball. They're going to catch you in that. The coaching all around for the Gators was just truly unbelievably shocking to watch. And then you think about the mistakes. Florida was penalized. You can see here 11 times, 103 yards worth of penalties for the Gators. The last drive that USF put the field goal through the uprights to close this out and win it, there was, 2 penalties on that drive alone that moved them up 30-plus yards? That just cannot happen. And then you think about Florida gets the ball back with a little over 3 minutes left with the lead. And instead of running the ball, running the clock, utilizing Jaden Ball, utilizing one of the best offensive linemen and just offensive line groups in the country, Florida decides to throw the ball on first down. Incomplete pass, it stops the clock. USF has life. What are you doing? It is so hard to fathom what Billy Napier has got going on here. It is a tough climb. You go to Baton Rouge next week, and it shocks me how Florida continues to find themselves stumbling short, especially with a roster of this caliber. Lagway didn't play a terrible game. He did have that one interception that could have been controversial, whether or not it was caught. I've seen some pictures and other angles where it looks like the ball hit the ground. To me, all of that's a moot point. Florida still should have won this football game, but all the credit in the world to USF. I love the way Byron Brown played. I thought he did just enough. They ran the ball effectively when they needed to. The tempo is what killed Florida. Florida could not keep up with USF's tempo. Now, the USF offense wasn't incredible. However, the defense is really the star of the game for me. They force a turnover. They stop the Gators. They bent but didn't break. The amount of times Florida found themselves driving the ball in the red zone and had to settle for 3, it's just an all-around gritty performance. That's the type of win you expect Florida to go out and get against an LSU or a Texas, a grind of a game. Instead, USF comes into the Swamp and does that to the Gators. So, inexcusable loss for Billy Napier. Uphill climb. Next week's going to be a tough test. They're going to have to bounce back, and it just gets so much worse from here. The stretch that Florida's about to go on is incredible. For USF, you think about, hey, they get to play Miami next week. What a chance. Could that be the best 3-game start to a season we've seen in a long time? If they beat Boise State, ranked. Florida, ranked. Miami, ranked. Insane. All right. That's the breakdown. Again, the Gators, long way to go uphill. They just got outcoached, plain and simple. USF wanted it more, so all the credit in the world to them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you.